Hello and welcome to Ageless Rock, a channel for those who can see things from a megalithic lens. Today, we are going to Kidron Valley in Jerusalem to check out a cave system which is known as a tomb. It is called Tomb of Jehoshaphat. This part of the valley is also called Valley of Jehoshaphat. The Bible verse linked to this site is found in the book of Joel, but the chapter differs depending on which version you are using. The Hebrew version has 4 chapters, while the English and Greek versions have only 3 chapters. Since Christianity is evolved from Judaism, I will use the Hebrew version as a quote. The Bible verse linked to this site is Joel chapter 4 verse 2. It reads, "I will gather all the nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. There I will contend with them over my very own people Israel, which they scattered among the nations, for they divided my land among themselves." As you can see here, Temple Mount and Mount Olives are on higher ground. Kidron Valley is the yellow dotted line. Jehoshaphat's Valley is the red line where it is also part of Kidron Valley. It was the Bordeaux pilgrims that connected this site as Jehoshaphat's Valley. The Bordeaux pilgrims originated in France in the year 333 AD. I feel a bit odd that it was French who told the Jews what they think it was, instead of the Jews telling the pilgrims from France where Jehoshaphat's Valley is. So I imagine a conversation like this took place in ancient times. A Jew went around looking for Jehoshaphat's Valley. He bumped into a French pilgrim. The French pilgrim believed it was right here, said, "It is right here," and the Jew thanked the French. As you can see from this old map dated 1858, Mount Olives doesn't have a lot of graves. I'm sure if you can travel back in time, this place is pretty empty and will give you a barren looking atmosphere. But if you zoom in closely, you can see Tomb of Jehoshaphat is in City Mariam. That is Saint Mary in English. That means the naming of this area has been evolving around the narrative of archaeologists rather than actual known knowledge of the local people. Then you have Cave of St. James, which is now Bene Hezir Tomb, or Tombs of the Sons of Hezir. And if you read the fine prints of archaeological claim, you will know that there isn't any solid evidence, and it is only believed to be, or according to tradition. So to me, it is still very much debatable. As you can see from this old map, it is written as Jehoshaphat's Valley, but Bene Hezir Tomb is missing from the map. That is most likely because no one knows what it was for most part of its existence. Tomb of St. James or Tomb of Jehoshaphat is actually an assumption that it is somewhere near or around this valley. Recent scholars argue that it is not even a physical space, but an imaginary or symbolic location where judgment will take place, because it is impossible to have 3 or 4 billion believers descending here for judgment. Some put forth the notion that it could be another valley in Judean desert. This mysterious cavity behind Tomb of Absalom is currently the accepted narrative of mainstream as a possible tomb for King Jehoshaphat. I think it is controversial enough for now that there is no entry in Wikipedia. The name Jehoshaphat comes from a combination of 2 words which simply means God has judged. This Judgment Day idea has made the surrounding place a preferred location for burial for Jews, Christians, Catholics, and Muslims. For now, this cave belongs to King Jehoshaphat, son of King Asa. He reigned the land of Judah from 870 BC to 849 BC. He is mentioned in the Bible in 1 Kings chapter 15 verse 24. He had many achievements during his 25 years of rule. He is said to be buried in the city of David. So that's why his tomb is believed to be somewhere near Temple Mount. What made archaeologists or historians suspect this is where King Jehoshaphat was buried remains unclear. With the earth buried so high for so long shows that no one knows what happened here. I feel that if the Bible can record he died in the city of David and had an awesome tomb, it would definitely be well inscribed and maintained since day one. From the outside, the cave looks unimpressive, but the interior is not a simple achievement if you have only simple soft chisels. This diagram is just an illustration using rectangular shapes. It is further divided into 7 chambers. The chambers came with smaller niches. Frankly speaking, I don't think any Jew would want to keep an awesome king in a cave without tombstone and inscription, which is the most basic thing to do for a normal dead person. This tomb, when discovered, was without any dead body despite it can fit 7 kings. As usual, everything you think should be there but is not, is considered stolen. The triangular top of the facade might give you an impression that this is a Roman architecture, but Romans were not in Israel when Jehoshaphat died. I don't think Romans would chisel a bedrock about 700 to 800 years after Jehoshaphat died. I don't think Romans architecture hewn into a bedrock was a preferred choice of design by the Jews. Megalith of Petra in Jordan has a triangular architecture which archaeologists would like to give credits to the Romans. But these monuments predate Roman existence in this region. If Romans came to Jordan and did this, there will be plenty of this in Italy. We don't need to guess who did this. The fact that this presumably Roman architecture facade is very debatable. Unbelievable work hewn out of bedrock in Yazilikaya in Turkey is definitely not a Roman construction. These monuments predate Roman existence in this region. If you look at these 2 monuments, you can say that they both have 2 pillars in front. The position is too high to be useful for human. There are 2 niches in front of the structure. The only thing I can conclude is that they are all done by the same megalithic culture, not meant for human use, and they predate Romans and Jews. Beside Zachariah's tomb, there is an unfinished tomb and a niche. The presumably unfinished tomb has 2 pillars as well. These pillars are not to support the ceiling. The cavity is way too small to worry about the ceiling might collapse one day. If it has a functional design, we will never know what it is for because we are not capable of seeing beyond our 5 senses. As for now, I don't know if I can call this a tomb because even with the possibility of it being a tomb of a king 2800 years ago, we are not very good at keeping it sacred. But I do know one thing, we are very good at leaving garbage behind. Well, that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed this short presentation on Jehoshaphat's tomb and have a wonderful day. This is Berniong signing out. Lahitraot.